It's 2023 and I'm still finding new ways to enjoy the PS2. It's crazy. I can't believe it myself, but I just want to talk about a couple of things that I found out about recently that have really opened up the possibilities of the PS2. It's a great time to be a retro gamer. Despite the high prices of retro games, you can still get a ton of cheap games for the PS2, and emulation is always an option, but I want to talk about even more options for you in this video. So this is just an average, ordinary PS2 Slim. It's kind of beat up and dirty. It's an ordinary PS2 Slim. However, it will play all PS2 and PS1 discs from any region, and it'll play any PS2 ROM, pretty much any PS2 ROM, from the memory card slot too. The best part of all this is I didn't have to mod anything. I didn't have to open up the console. It's all done with some software and some very cheap accessories. These are the two accessories I'm talking about. Free McBoot memory card, which is under 10 bucks. And then this memory card to microSD card adapter thing that was also under 10 bucks. Then I've got this 256 gigabyte microSD card right here. Doesn't matter, you can use whatever SD card you have lying around. However, SanDisk will not work. I learned that the hard way. SanDisk does not work with this thing. So I do recommend Samsung. They are always quality. So the first thing I wanted to do with my PS2, I wanted to find a way to play import games. This is a North American console I have. I wanted to play those Japanese games and even PAL games if possible. Why not? I always thought I was going to have to get a Modchip, learn to solder something, and no, don't have to do any of that today, because there's this really awesome program called Mechapone, which you can download for free. I'll post the link in the description. I'll also give you a video tutorial link that I used to set it up. It made it a lot easier for me. The written tutorial on the site made it sound a little scary, but this video was super easy to follow. Way less complex than it sounded. Just make sure your PS2 console is compatible with the program. In order to run that program on your PS2, you're going to need Free McBoot. And Free McBoot is another piece of free software. It lets you run homebrew apps on your PS2 console. The easiest way to do it is just to buy one of these Free McBoot memory cards. Make sure it's the version 1.966 or higher. It's about under 10 bucks or so, but it does double as a regular memory card for the PS2 as well. You can save your games on here too. So this comes with a bunch of different programs loaded on it already. There's like a controller testing app. There's emulators for legacy systems like Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance or something. I haven't really messed with any of those. All I wanted to do was load this extra program, and for that you will just need some sort of a USB thumb drive to load the program onto the PS2. So anyways, you run the program Mechapone, and then it's a one-time deal. It's super easy to do. It just a region unlocks your PS2, and then you're good to go, and it's like nothing ever happened. It doesn't change anything when your PS2 starts up. There's nothing visible about it. It's like it never happened, only magically now you can play games of any region, all PS2 and PS1 discs. Pretty freaking awesome. It's permanent as long as you want it to be permanent. You don't have to ever use this again. You don't ever have to use your thumb drive again. None of that. It's set for life. You're region free, and it looks like nothing ever happened. So that was my main goal with my PS2. However, since I had this thing lying around, I began getting curious about what else it could do. So I was aware that this could actually let you play ROMs on your PS2 from a USB source. Like a lot of people might want to plug in a thumb drive or something into the USB with ROMs and play games off of that. The problem is the data speeds just aren't fast enough for a smooth gaming experience. You're going to get a lot of choppiness. It's not going to be really playable. It's not going to be enjoyable. So a lot of people with the fat PS2s, they'll load up their ROMs onto a hard drive and use the hard drive bay in the back of the PS2. But if you have a PS2 Slim, that's not an option. There's no place to put a hard disk in here. So the next best option is to get one of these guys. The memory card slots have a much faster data speed than the USB drives. So you can get this little guy here with the microSD card port, load all your ROMs onto this microSD card, plug it into the second memory card slot, and run your ROMs that way. For me, I still like to actually buy the physical games and collect those. the ones I like and the ones that are affordable. What makes this great though about being able to play ROMs on it is, well, yeah, you can try out different games. You can also play those expensive games that you're just never ever going to find anymore or never going to be able to afford. But also, you can play fan translated games, right? There's a bunch of Japanese games that have been fan translated. You can find the ROMs online, and yeah, you can play those on your PS2 through this. Pretty awesome. Other kind of ROM hacks, there you have like undubs. A lot of Japanese RPGs that were dubbed over in English. Maybe you don't like listening to English. Well, you can probably find undubs online and have the Japanese voices with the English text. And all kinds of different ROM hacks, all kinds of different stuff out there. It's pretty cool. So this opens up the possibility to play all those. Play any game you want off of a memory card instead of the disc. And play any disc. You're suddenly able to play any game you want on this console. And so that's pretty sweet, man. About 20 bucks for both of these cards. I think you can get them even cheaper on AliExpress. And then, yeah, hopefully you have a thumb drive and an extra microSD card lying around. If not, you know, microSD cards are pretty cheap now, even the good ones like Samsung. Now, not every game is compatible with this, running off the microSD card. There are a few games out there that will have issues that will maybe not run, but the compatibility is very huge, very extensive, and I'm super impressed by this. Not having to mod the console in any way, just a little soft mod. Very cheap, didn't need to crack open anything. If you boot up the console with this in the memory card slot, it takes you to a different boot menu. You see the Free McBoot logo, and then you see this list of all of these apps, all these homebrew apps. Nothing about this is permanent either. Just take it out, boot up the console, and it goes to the normal boot up screen. And yeah, there's nothing permanent about any of this. That's the best part. You still have your regular console. It's just region free. And you have this added option if you want to use it and use other homebrew apps. This is amazing. It's a good time to be into retro games, guys. We have so many options now, from emulation to mods on original hardware. Any console out there, you name it, it's all at your fingertips. So I just wanted to kind of show that off in this video in case you're not aware of these resources out there, these upgrades for your console. So yeah, again, check the compatibility with your console and check out the links below. And yeah, have fun. Enjoy the PS2. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.